Welcome to GK Mojo. Continuing this 30 days to CAT challenge series, we are going to see VARC today. So, particularly in VARC, we are going to see how to solve para summary. So, one or two questions you can expect on your exam day in para summary. Very important because sometimes what happens is when you're not able to comprehend your reading comprehensions or you're not sure about how many attempts you have made and what's the accuracy, para jumbles and this odd sentence out and para summary are the questions that are going to save you, right? Because if the paper is tough and you are able to get through these questions, trust me, it's the best thing that can happen to you. All right, you'll get through with the cutoffs and a very good score. So please do not ignore para summary questions and do not take them for granted. All right, let's get started. First, I'm gonna show you how you can approach para summary questions, and then I'm gonna take some examples, some questions which will help you to figure out the way forward. Let's get started. So there are various aspects while solving a para summary questions. All right, and the main aspect is what they expect you to do is they want you to understand the gist of the passage and they want you to just summarize it. All right, they want you to summarize it in one sentence. They'll give you four options. All right, three options are essentially going to be eliminated and one option is the best one. All right, because they ask you sometimes the best, so sometimes two or three options are very much in alignment with the passage or very close to what the passage is trying to say, but only the best option goes forward. All right, so first and foremost thing while you are attempting a para summary is you have to always identify the main subject. Okay, main subject. All right, so the paragraphs may belong to any field of study. All right, it can be science, humanities, all right, philosophy, political science. All right, your first task is to read, go through it, skim through it, and pick out the key points and ideas as you read it. All right, so you'll be able to identify the subject as you go through the passage or whatever has been given, a paragraph that has been given to you. Next is you have to link all the dots and ideas. All right, because it builds up a story, right? It says that in 1936 this war has happened and in 1945 this was the conclusion and this was the end result. All right, you have to connect the links. All right, after all of this has been done, just do not go through the options but think of a summary yourself. Think of a central idea that the passage is trying to give you yourself. All right, do not look at the options. All right, now when you go to the option, look at the option which is matching your central idea, what you thought. All right, then go through the other options, try to eliminate irrelevant option. There will be at least one or two options which are irrelevant, which are talking something which has not been mentioned in the passage only. It's inconsistent. All right, so what are the types of this such types? I'll just give you a list of it. Wait. All right, out of scope options. All right, so out of scope options will be rejected right away. All right, then there will be narrow or partial scope options. All right, so in this, half thing is true and half the thing is not true. Doesn't work. All right, if a passage describes political and economic conditions of British India, the answer option cannot indicate the political aspect only. That is, it's giving you only half the thing, right? Then it's extreme options. Sorry, extreme options. All right, so these are the options which are too extreme. All right, so let's suppose the passage has been on a different tone and the answer option that has been given to be in a very extreme tone, it would be eliminated right away. All right, and most importantly, and this is very common, new ideas or inconsistent options. So this is something which is not present in the passage but still has been mentioned in the option. All right, so guys, the only way to identify these options is practice, practice, practice. You have to read a lot, you have to practice a lot. So I usually do tell my students that read a paragraph, all right, and try to think a summary on your own. Do not go through the options, then try to compare your summary with the whatever central idea you have got with the options. 90% times you will do good in this. All right, so practice is the key over here, and with practice everyone can master this topic. Let's go through some questions now. So this is a passage given to us. Summary options will be there in the next slide. Soviet power declined. The world became to some extent multipolar, and Europe strove to define an independent identity. What a journey Europe has undertaken to reach this point. It had, in every century, changed its internal structure and invented new ways of thinking about the nature of international order. Now, at the culmination of an era, Europe, in order to participate in it, felt obliged to set aside the political mechanisms through which it had conducted its affairs for 3.5 centuries. Impelled also by the desire to cushion the emergent unification of Germany, the new European Union established a common currency in 2002 and formed and a formal political structure in 2004. It proclaimed a Europe united, whole and free, adjusting its differences by peaceful mechanisms. So basically, the paragraph over here is describing how Europe changed its internal structure and transformed into a whole united using peaceful mechanisms in the new multipolar world. Right? So initially there were different mechanisms, but now it has gone to different mechanisms. All right, because it's not able to adapt to the new world. All right, so Europe wants to adapt, all right, according to the new multipolar world, all right, so that it can match with all the things. Okay, so that is why it has changed the structure. Now this structure was being continued for 3.5 centuries, but now it has felt obliged to set aside the political mechanisms which it had conducted, right? So changes are coming in Europe. This is what the central idea is. Let's go through the options now. First option, Europe has consistently changed its internal structure to successfully adapt to the changing world order. This is a wrong option, right? This is definitely a wrong option. Why? Because has consistently? No, for 3.5 centuries it had not, right? So this is a wrong option. Now it has changed, not before. Second option, Europe has consistently changed in keeping with the changing world order that has culminated in a united. Again, consistently wrong. Alright, this is right away to be eliminated. The establishment of a formal political structure in Europe was hastened by the unification of Germany and the emergence of multipolar world. Now this sentence is correct. It's correct, right? But it's partial. Does does it match with the central idea that we had taken out? No, it does not. Right? What was the central idea? A central idea was Europe is going through changes. It's bringing about changes in its structure because it wants to adapt to the new political system. Right? This is just talking about one or two instances, one or two major events. So this is also eliminated. Hence, option D is the correct choice, but let's go through it. Europe has chosen to lower political and economic heterogeneity in order to adapt itself to an emerging multipolar world. See, in order to adapt itself to a multipolar world. And this is the correct answer, option D. Let's have a look at the next one. For nearly a century, most psychologists have embraced one view of intelligence. Individuals are born with more or less intelligence potential, IQ. This potential is heavily influenced by heredity and difficult to alter. Experts in measurement can determine a person's intelligence early in life, currently from paper and pencil measures, perhaps eventually from examining the brain in action or even scrutinizing his or her genome. Recently, criticism of this conventional wisdom has mounted. Biologists ask if speaking of a single entity called intelligence is coherent and question the validity measures used to estimate the heritability of traits in humans, who, unlike plants and animals, are not conceived and bred under controlled condition. So basically, in this passage, what is happening is first they have laid a topic. All right, they have given you a general substance over here that most psychologists for a century they believe in this IQ thing. All right, they measure your intelligence using this IQ parameter, and they think that using all these conventional metrics they can measure or compare intelligence in different humans. They also relate it to the hereditary genomes, right? But now biologists are questioning this thing. All right, they're questioning this thing that whether it's validated, all right, or it's I mean justified, because we humans are not uh, I mean conceived or bred under controlled condition like plants and animals, right? So it's not justified to do so. All right, so let's see what all options they have given over here. Biologists have questioned that the long-standing view that intelligence is a single entity and that attempts to estimate its heritability, This is quite true actually. All right, we will keep this aside because it's covering all the aspects. All right, this and this. All right, and even the last sentence of the paragraph is exactly being rephrased over here properly. Let's go through other options as well. Biologists have started questioning psychologists' view of intelligence as a measurable, immutable characteristics of an individual. All right, but again, this is half. This is correct, but this is half because this heritability thing is not coming in it. Biologists have questioned the view that intelligence is a single entity, and the way in which and the ways in which what it is inherited. This is wrong. All right, it's not questioned about the ways in which or what it is inherited. All right, whether it's valid or not is being questioned over here. Option 4. Biologists have criticized that conventional wisdom that individuals are born with more or less intelligence potential. Again, this is partially true, but this is really less information given to the gist given into the passage. Biologists have questioned the long-standing view, all right, about the intelligence, its single entity, and attempts to estimate its heritability. I think this option is also a junk. Option A is a clear winner over here, guys. I know these options would sound really close to you, but you just need to compare these options with the first option and you'll understand why we went about option 1. Let's have a look at another passage. Orchids can be so difficult to grow that even professional horticulturists have trouble keeping them alive. And yet, orchids are the largest family of flowering plants in existence, comprising 30,000 different species and more than 22 lakh hybrid varieties. Much of this presence has to do with the orchid's ability to thrive in different environments, particularly in the tropics. Nevertheless, orchid lovers who live in colder climates shouldn't be discouraged. With proper equipment and care, many species of orchids can thrive in the home environments. Basically, this topic is based on orchids. You can make that very easily. All right, so it's very difficult to grow orchids is what they are saying. All right, it's very difficult to keep them alive, but they have got huge number of species and varieties. All right, and this is because orchids ability to thrive in different environments, that it's adaptable. All right, and cold climate lovers, I mean people who live in cold climates and who are orchid lovers cannot be discouraged because with proper equipment they can also grow. This is basically what the topic is all about this passage. Let's go on to the options straight away. 1. Horticulturists who wish to grow orchids will have greater success doing so in tropical environments rather than. So, this is eliminated. This is very specific to just one sentence in the passage. This passage is much more than that. Despite the difficulty in cultivating them, orchids can flourish when grown by horticulturists who have the correct equipments. Right, this is also correct, but then what about the other aspects also, that they have got a large family, they have got so many species. I mean, something should be there, right? So even this is eliminated. This is giving half information. Option 3. Despite the difficulty in cultivating them, orchids belong to a large family of which some species can grow well in various locations when cared for them correctly. All the aspects are covered, say in this option. Alright, all aspects are covered over here, which I wanted, but let's keep it aside. Let's go through option 4. While there are numerous types of orchids, they cannot be grown outside homes in the tropics. Though many this is wrong. Alright, the author has already told you in the passage that it can be done with proper equipment. It's not completely impossible. Option 3 is the correct choice and a clear winner. So that's it in this video, guys. Please visit us at gkmojo.com. Thank you.